Okay, moving on to beam. The first blue beam, everyone's doing the same thing, just a different variation. So we have this ball that looks like an eyeball, and yellow's going to push it down the beam into the bucket, so at no point should anybody touch the floor. So they're going to bend over and push the ball with their hands while they're walking into the bucket all the way down the beam. Green will do the exact same thing, except they only get to use one hand to push it in the bucket instead of two. And then red will do the same thing. They only get one hand to push it. Yellow gets two. On the second blue beam, yellow's going to do their moving straddle, jump their feet up together and touch them above the beam. So hands move further down the beam, feet clap above the beam. Then their hands move further and feet clap above the beam. So it's kind of like a moving donkey kick. Then green will do an actual donkey kick on the beam. So hands go down together, feet come up and kick the behind together, then come down. And then red, handstand, feet don't touch on the beam. So really trying to get them to just get comfortable kicking up by themselves, no matter what it looks like. That way they are starting to get comfortable going upside down and getting to try things without you doing the whole thing for them. So on the red beam, everybody's same thing, kind of doing the exact same thing except a different variation. They'll throw the animal in the air and catch him without falling, so they're working on hand-eye coordination, staying balanced, and all of these things all in one time. So there will be a stuffed animal, and they're just going to throw him in the air and try and catch him without falling. Green will do the exact same thing, except they're going to stand on one foot, so they can throw him with one hand, both hands, but they have to stand on one foot and catch him on one foot. And then for red, they're going to do the same thing and stand on one foot, except they're going to catch it in alternating hands. So if they throw it with one hand, they have to catch it with the other hand. They're just going to try and throw it back and forth without falling while standing on one foot. On the carpet beam, yellow's going to do a cartwheel drill over it, so getting them used to a different surface. It's a little bit harder. Green will do pivot turns on the beam, and red will do long jumps down the beam. On the high beam, everyone will do the same thing, except walking a different direction. They're going to have a spoon and a little pipe cleaner spider, so they're going to have to walk forwards and back forwards, and then either sideways and then back sideways, or backwards and then backwards again, without dropping the little spider guy. He should be able to fit in there quite nicely, so he shouldn't really fall unless, they get a little wobbly and they have to hop down, or they drop him out of, they drop the whole spoon, so that should be kind of easy. And then everyone will hula hoop on the line. So same thing as before, it'll just be roughly the exact same thing, just different variations, trying to focus on the fun part of it this week without straying too far from the corrections side of things, but really just, trying to keep them engaged in doing gymnastics without thinking they're doing gymnastics and having fun instead. So